Hi everyone, I am Brenda Price. I teach in Townsend, Delaware. It's a Title I school in a pretty large district. I have two sites. I'm at a kindergarten building as well as a elementary building. My total student population is around 650 students. I've been teaching here for 4 years. This is about my 15th year teaching. We are currently remote, but moving to hybrid on Monday. My unit is all about transforming spaces. It's written with third graders in mind and would take about 9 to 12 weeks. I have 5 projects planned for this unit. The first one is where I would introduce the concept of site-specific installation artwork to my students. We would debate object versus art using the lovely rubber duck site-specific artwork. From there, students would have to cast their ballot using a Google form for their opinion and justify why they think this is an art piece or an object. After that, we would move on to using color to express emotions in art by looking at The Color Monster, a pop-up book of feelings. From there, we will collaborate together to make a site-specific artwork for our school after reading The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. We would also look at the installation art of Kusama and discuss why she chose dots as her subject matter. And then we would end by making our own small-scale installation artwork. For the assessment, students will be reflecting throughout the unit, starting with the Google form to justify art versus object. Students will be sketching plans and reflecting after most projects. A rubric will be included in the dot collaboration as well as the small scale installation. They will also be presenting their final artwork on Flipgrid with reflection. The essential questions to be asked at the beginning and the end of this unit are how do you transform the spaces around you in your daily life, and can art help you transform your space? There will be many more essential questions accompanying each project in this unit, but these 2 essential questions I will be asking at the beginning of the unit as well as the end to sort of see how students grow throughout this process. My inspiration for this project, one of my inspirations for this project unit was children's books. I feel like picture books are a great starter for young students, and looking at a picture book is not quite as intimidating as hearing new subject matter or looking at a piece of artwork. I am using the Color Monster to discuss emotion and how we can express emotions using color. That's a pretty heavy idea, and to cover that with a picture book, I feel like is easier for a student to understand than talking about those abstractly. We will be talking about another pretty heavy topic of the challenge of being creative and how that takes courage by looking at The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. The dot is a great way for students to think about the courage it takes to express their emotions and put those on paper in an artwork. It is a great way for students to create work independently, but then also work collaboratively. We will be talking about the artwork of Kusama. I feel like she will be a great inspiration for my students because she did start creating artwork at such a young age. Many of them are 10 years old. Her subject matter is pretty easy to understand. It's just dots. But then when you delve into why she was creating those dots, she was dealing with hard emotions that she had as a child. My students are all dealing with those hard emotions. So I feel like looking at her artwork and discussing that will be an inspiration for them. We will also be looking at the mixed media artists Terry Chiao and Adam Freza. These are 2 artists who work collaboratively together using materials that are safe for them to use in the studio with their young daughter. So it's also materials that my students will be able to use. They create very large scale site specific artwork, but they are fun to look at, and I feel like they'll be an inspiration for my students. I am asking my students to create their own site specific installation artwork with the understanding that they aren't going to have a place to create such a large scale. So I'm asking them to create a small scale installation sculpture to transform a place that is close to them, maybe in their home, their bedroom, their living room, possibly in our classroom if we are there. But if we are still remote learning, they can create a small scale sculpture that could transform their own home. My why for this unit is my students. I have been very worried about their social emotional learning as we come back from this pandemic and how it's affecting them. I felt like I could best express this by writing like I was talking to my students. So, to my wonderful artists, these last few months have been hard. You have all risen above the challenges of living through a pandemic and so much more. As artists, I hope you can see past all of your negative in life, but when you cannot, I hope you lean on your art to help you express your emotions. As artists, we can help when times are rough by transforming the spaces around us. To change the world, we just start where we are. Keep creating, Ms. Price. I feel like my students more than ever need to be able to talk about their emotions, and they need help expressing those emotions in a way that's helpful and healthy for them. So I want to give them ways they can transform their own spaces and make those places a better place for them to be. Thank you.